You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sara J Loureiro.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Uplevel Your Online Business Show with me, Sara, business coach and creator of the Rapid Expansion Method. So, I was recently talking to a friend of mine about what I used to do in my 9-to-5 and how I actually believe that I am helping more people by making more money and by charging more than I was in my 9-to-5 that was a non-profit job where I basically was just paid to help people all day. And the reason why I really wanted to do this episode is because I have a lot of clients who really struggle with the sales part, who really struggle with the raising their rates aspects of their businesses. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I was there. I will tell you a bit more of my story and how I went from, really believing that no one could charge more without somehow doing a disservice to the world. And let me tell you guys, if you are that person who feels like you cannot charge more, that is not fair for you to make more money when so many people are suffering, or it is not fair for you to charge a specific amount, even though you really, really want to. This episode is for you. If you've ever felt guilt for making more money, if you've ever felt guilt for wanting more for yourself when you know that there are a lot of other people out there who could also use your support, this episode is for you. Now, let me back up here because I think not a whole lot of people know this about me. And it will likely change your perspective because a lot of people just look at people like me who are in the online space, making multiple six figures, growing their revenue each and every month, each and every year, and thinking like, damn, she doesn't have these issues. She doesn't have these money mindset issues. She does not know what it feels like to be inside of my brain. And I do have those issues. In fact, I did have those issues. When I first started out working online, I actually come from a university background where I studied a lot about social justice. And I took part in a lot of courses that talked about, rich people and being evil and specific corporations that were just doing awful things in the world. I've seen all of the documentaries. I have done cross-cultural exchanges where I've seen the terrible things that happen to so many people. And I also felt conflicted. I felt conflicted when I started my first online business because at first, initially, I wanted to be the person who charged the least amount that I possibly could because I wanted to make myself accessible. I wanted to make myself affordable. And what I quickly realized when doing that was that internally, I kind of wanted more. I wanted more than that. I wanted more than the literal lowest that I could charge. And two, even though I was charging the lowest that I could charge, no one cared. No one wanted to work with me. I didn't get loads of people signing up with me because my rates were at $30 or $50 a session. And that's when I started getting into the online world and started to really understand that people aren't just purchasing from you because you're the most affordable option. And people aren't just purchasing from you because they want the program that you're offering in your specific niche. People want to work with you because they want you to change their life. And they're confident that with your support, they can change their lives. That you are going to help them with that you are a great mentor or a great coach or a great consultant or a great social media manager, whatever type of business that you have, that's why people purchase from you. It's not because they are shopping around for the cheapest coach in the world and you happen to get up on their Google search. In fact, even if you did want to get into someone's Google search, that would cost you so much more than what your session offerings are if you are charging really, really low amounts. And so when I came into the online space, I quickly started to realize this. And not only that, when I started working with my own mentors, my own coaches who really helped me with creating the shift for myself, I started to realize that my clients who were paying me more were actually really, really happy and excited to pay me that amount. They weren't like, well, this better work, right? They were like, oh my goodness, yes, I really, really want to work with you. That type of stuff didn't really matter. And going back to me going to university and taking a lot of social justice courses, doing a lot of volunteer work, I did so much volunteer work in my early 20s. I was a part of a few different committees. I really did put so much effort into making my community a better place. And don't get me wrong, that's still incredible. And the work that I did in my 9-to-5 before I got into coaching, got into online coaching and online business was also very admirable. It was very honorable. It was the type of work where you know that these people need you, that you're really, really making a difference. And I worked at my 9-to-5 for almost 7 years. I was helping new immigrant families, refugees, citizens, residents, helping all of them establish themselves in my area. I worked with schools. I worked in multiple languages. I speak Spanish and Portuguese. And my clients really appreciated me. My clients really appreciated me. My coworkers really appreciated me. It was a good job. I was helping people. I was helping to make the world a better place. The beautiful thing here, though, is that when I started doing online business and I created my own blog and I created an Instagram account and I created a Facebook group and I had my services up on my website, I started understanding that I could help even more people. And the more I grew my business, the more I grew my online business, the more that I realized that the people that I was helping weren't just the people who were purchasing my programs. I would get emails almost every single day. And even now, I get emails, I get messages on Instagram from people telling me just how much I inspire them. And one of the very first messages that I ever received like this came from a friend who I hadn't spoken to in months, if not years. And she messaged me and she was talking to me about how I was really, really helping her through a depression that she was going through, and that she was reading all my posts, and that she had no idea that she could really start thinking in a different way. She found herself in yoga. She found herself in meditation. And I was like, wow, this made my day. This made my day even just the same as, signing on a new client and being able to support a client. And over time, those messages started coming in from close friends. They started coming in from people who I knew from high school. They started coming in from family members who wanted to tell me just how proud of me they were. And then they started coming from complete strangers. And I'm talking, people who randomly just want to send me a DM on Instagram being like, Sarah, I just listened to your podcast and I just wanted to say that I loved it. Or people responding to my emails. And that's when it hit me that my business was not just creating change for my clients. My business was creating the most change for my clients because those are the people who could apply everything and use everything that I knew and get the one-to-one or the group coaching format. But they weren't the only ones that were directly affected by my business. And that's when I started to understand that I couldn't possibly have ever inspired and motivated and changed the lives of this many people had I stayed in my 9-to-5. Sure, I was doing amazing work in my 9-to-5. My coworkers were doing incredible work, and they still do. Those women and men who I worked with, they are still fighting for advocacy every single day, and I love them so much. But one thing that really came to mind for me when I was thinking about, okay, well, if both of these things are really good, if both of these things are inspiring people, then why is my online business better? Is it better? Is it better than the 9-to-5 in terms of the way that I can create change? And here's another thing that I realized. There's so many people who could take my job that I had in my 9-to-5 and do such a great job with it. I know this. I know this because I had coworkers who did a much better job than I did in my 9-to-5. But I also know that I have such a unique gift with the way that I inspire other people, with the way that I share about my own life and about my struggles, in the way that I teach business strategy that not many other people can do, that not many other people are willing to do. And then that's when I started to realize that I'm actually changing the world more by being an online business than I was in my 9-to-5, even though my 9-to-5 was directly related to helping less fortunate people and helping people in general have greater access to resources and greater support systems in their new communities. My level of visibility and my level of support was capped because of my job description and because of how much I could realistically grow in that job versus me owning my own business and using the online world as a platform to tell my story and to inspire others. I get so many more people telling me about how much my work has impacted them being online. And not to mention that the greatest way for me to help the most people is by having a greater amount of resources, specifically finances, to be able to grow this business, to be able to do this podcast. If I was still working in my 9-to-5 or charging those types of rates, I wouldn't have time to run a podcast. If I was still charging really, really low rates for my work, I wouldn't even feel inspired to get out of bed every morning because I would be so overworked and burnt out. People wouldn't see the best version of me. People wouldn't get the best version of me. People would not be inspired and motivated by my energy because my energy would just be so depleted. And the beautiful thing about the work that I do is that I get to teach other women to do the same work, to inspire others, to be willing to understand that the more that they can really fill up their own cups, the more that they are going to be able to inspire other people. And one of the ways that I love describing this to a lot of my clients who are struggling with the same thing is to think about the people in the world who have the greatest influence doing what it is that you want to do. And one of the very first people who comes to mind for me is someone like Oprah. Everyone knows Oprah. Most of my clients love Oprah. So I have a feeling that if you're listening to this, you can totally get this analogy. Okay? Oprah is Oprah, and she changes lives every single day. There are so many people inspired by Oprah, but you wouldn't know about her. And you wouldn't know about how inspiring she is, and you wouldn't be touched by her story had she still worked in whatever 9 to 5 or whatever type of job that she was in before she decided to take a chance on herself. And Oprah is a multimillionaire, and she just would never have been a multimillionaire or someone who is so well known and so inspiring had she played small. Had she said, okay, well, my work is only worth $100 a session. Had she done that, she would still be there. She would still be at her office, making $100 a session. Let's say, for example, if she was a life coach. Instead of being where she is today, instead of having the power that she has today, instead of being that monumental figure, especially for Black women, that says that you can have this. And you can fight for this. And somewhere along the lines of Oprah getting to where she is today, she had to ditch that mentality of, I can help more people by charging less. Because you cannot help more people by charging less. You are one person. You have a limited, finite amount of time in every single one of your days. And if you go that route, you will not be able to help more people and inspire more people. That is a myth. You can still help and inspire a lot of people. And if that is the route that you want to go in, all the power to you. It is amazing. I applaud you. Like I said, everyone who I used to work with, they're doing incredible work. But I'm also doing incredible work. In fact, I'm doing incredible work that only I can do. I am using my voice in a way that so many people are afraid to do. And so my time is actually better utilized as a coach and as someone who has the guts to do lives and to write vulnerable content and to show up every single day on this entrepreneurial journey that is not easy. We all know that it's not easy. It's definitely a lot easier to get a steady paycheck at the end of every 2 weeks. But I choose to be here and doing this work because I know that I am impacting so many more people, and that because I want to impact even more people, and because I want to give my clients the best of me and give them phenomenal results, I also need to make sure that I have my own cup filled first. And that I'm giving them such a high quality service that I'm not burning myself out with too many clients. And that if I envision myself to be Oprah status one day, I need to embody that version of myself today. I need to declare that I am worthy of charging higher rates. I need to declare that I am worthy of making more money in my business, and that there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, the more money I make, the more I inspire other people, the more I can connect with more people, the more I can impact the lives of other people. And therefore, my time and my energy is actually serving more people when I charge more money. And when I finally decide to step into the next level of entrepreneurship, then if I was still working in my 9 to 5 or still charging lower rates. And then I can go even further to say that it is selfish of me to charge lower rates, because in doing so, one, I am not giving people my all and the best of me. And two, I am not allowing myself and those around me to experience the best of the things that I know and the things that I know are going to make a greater impact on other people. The more I stay small, the more that I'm afraid to charge more, the less people get to be impacted by my work. And now I am so certain that this is my path, and I am so certain that this is a much better way of me using my time and energy to change the world, that I feel really good about it. I feel really, really good about the position that I'm in. I feel really good about making multiple six figures a year, because this means that I get to see more of those emails. I get to see more of those DMs. And my clients get to elevate themselves as well, because when you elevate and when you take a chance on yourself, you're signaling to the universe, you're signaling to God that you are ready to play that bigger game as well. It is an energetic exchange that you do when you invest in yourself at higher levels. And we can all benefit. So I hope that this episode has helped you. If you have been struggling with this, I would love to hear from you. Tell me, has this impacted you significantly? Do you now understand that yes, you are available for it and that you are so worthy of making more, charging more, expanding more in your business? I'd love to hear from you. You can head over to Instagram and find me at Sara without an H, J Loureiro. That's Sara J Loureiro on Instagram. Send me a message. I would love to hear how you enjoyed this episode.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarajloureiro.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.